What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka. Let me touch your elbows so I can feel something. aka the peanut butter and the jelly. Oh shit. aka the Komaki Tiger Dropper. Aka something. I forgot my aliases. Damn it. Aka the nigga Lil Master. Bringing you yet another episode. Oh my god. Oh my, I'm just dropping. I'm tired. I've been working out. And I'm just tired. I'm so tired. Bringing you another episode of Switches Sights, episode 176. Man, it's a lot that's transpired since our last time we spoke. A lot of showcases, a lot of forwards, a lot of directs. Is everybody being forward and direct, showcasing. It's an eventful month. This is prime time, you know. It's prime time. Yeah. So, you know, there's that. Happy Final Fantasy 16 day. Yeah, I can't wait to kill people and induce violence and I don't know what else. Just as long as I'm with Clive, I think everything's gonna be okay. Everything gonna be okay. But I digress. I'm fighting it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm fighting it right now. I'm just exhausted. But you know what? I'm like, I gotta get this out. I gotta get this out for my own self, for my own accountability. So that's what I'm doing. Damn. Well, where do we go from there? You know what? Let's stop the dilly-dally and get right into it. First topic of discussion. It's the first topic. Just recently, was it Tuesday? Maybe, I think it was yesterday. My whole sense of time is fucked up. The Nintendo Direct happened, and we got some decent stuff. In particular, you know, Mario fans, boy, y'all gonna have a buffet, a feast, just a buffeted. I know that's not even a word, but I'm gonna make it one. A buffeted feast of just Mario content to your heart's desire. So, you know, there's that. Get all that. But let's go. Maybe not necessarily everything, but some of the notable stuff. I think they started off with Pokemon DLC. I forgot what it was called. It was called something. Pokemon Booty Force. That's immature. That's very immature. But you know what? I'm not gonna take it back. Pokemon booty. Oh god. I'm taking myself out. I don't see. I'm looking at IGN's article of everything that was announced. There we go. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Hidden Treasure of Area Zero expansions. I think each one is different depending on the version of Pokemon you got. So, you got the Teal Mask and the Indigo I can't even. Indigo Disc. Which is interesting. The Teal Mask will arrive this fall, while the I did it again. Indigo Disc will follow in winter. So there's that. I'm curious. That seems weird. You'd think that both DLCs would come out at the same time. I feel like one person who has one version of the deal, one version of the Pokemon game will kind of feel slighted if they're the one that gets the one that comes out later, technically. I'm looking, double checking. Maybe not. I guess maybe they apply to both games. I thought they were both different. I thought they were both different for each game, at least from what they showed at the Direct. Let's see. I need to know. Sabotage with numerous rays. Huh. Let's Google it. Yes, Pokemon DLC for both Scarlet and Violet. The Hidden Treasure of the Area Zero is only compatible with the Pokemon Scarlet game, and Pokemon Violet, the Hidden Treasure of the Area Zero is only compatible with the Pokemon Violet game. The same DLC cannot be used for both games. So I believe both DLCs apply, but I know they're fairly different. Like one takes place at a whole different location compared to the other version's DLC or something along those lines. Yeah, that would make more sense than like just alienating one person that got Pokemon Violet, for example, and they don't get the DLC until fall, while people who got Violet get the DLC, get it much sooner. Yeah, I don't think that makes sense. So I think that is the what's going on there. So there's that. I think shortly after that, they dropped info about a new Detective Pikachu game, which I think is previously exclusive to the 3DS. Of course, there was the Pokemon, the Detective Pikachu movie, but I think they released around the same time frame. But you know, you got Detective Pikachu. He got that deep voice. He sounding a little gruzzle. He sound like he been through some stuff. Hey, I've just been going through some things. I just need to I need to collect myself. I may have been smoking too many cigars, but you know, It don't matter. I'm Detective Pikachu. Oh man, I love the voice Detective Pikachu. If anybody in Nintendo, I know you listen. I know you listening, Nintendo. Hit your boy up. I'll voice. I know it's my destined duty, but you know, I gotta do it. I gotta voice. If I gotta voice Detective Pikachu, then I gotta voice Detective Pikachu. So, yeah. So has a release date of October 6th, 2023. New game promises to dive deep into the origins of Detective Pikachu and allow players to solve a ton of mysteries across Rhyme City alongside Tim Goodman and other Pokemon. Alongside that, I know they showed us a little bit more of that Sonic game that I think premiered at the Game Awards, or not the Game Awards, Summer Games Fest. I forgot what it was called. Sonic Super something. Sonic Supersonic. Sonic Supersonic. Sonic Superstars. So it seems to be kind of like a 2D Mario competitor in a way, where you can play. Apparently, you could play a local 4-player co-op with your buddies and be, one person just run across the screen while the slowest person just is left behind in the dust. I assume they probably have some teleport mechanic that will keep you in line with everybody else, I'd assume. Because that sounds like the most annoying part, where all y'all just speeding through. Then you got Timmy behind you. He just like I can't do it, and then everybody getting a shot at him. Timmy, you such a Timmy, you such a bitch, man. Sit your ass down. That's mad. That's messed up. Timmy shouldn't be friends with them. Yeah, so Sonic Superstars coming this fall. Then I think we got an announcement of Persona 5 Tactics, which we saw at the Xbox Showcase. Basically just Persona 5 but tactical this time. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Persona just started out as a standard RPG, then it beat 'em up, now a tactics game. I think that's just such an interesting trajectory of the whole Persona 5 series specifically. I mean, I guess Atlas is no stranger to spinning off the Persona, IPs like Persona 3. I think Persona 3 had a fighting game, or I think it was Persona 4. I think Persona 3 is probably the only game that hasn't really had any crazy deviation from its genre or whatever, other than the multiple versions of the game itself. But yeah, Persona 5 Tactica got a new exclusive character to this series that presumably will join the crew and assist with tactics. I mean, hey, I like me a good tactical game. What was the last one? Probably the last tactic game I played was probably Gears Tactics, which I thoroughly enjoyed, especially as a fan of the Gears series. So I am a fan of some tactics games. I mess with a little bit of that Fire Emblem. Damn, is that it? Tactical game. Yeah, it's Fire Emblem. Yeah, but I'm open, of course. So it's on my radar. I think I'd like to see a little bit more in-depth gameplay to get a feel for how the ebbs and flows of the gameplay goes. And I mean, hey, if it's got that jamming music, that jamming hip hop, jazz, R&B type of music, I mean, shoot, that's gonna get me halfway in the door. It's gonna get me halfway in there. Some odd Splatoon 3 Splatfest stuff. I think versing vanilla, strawberry, and mint chip. Like, that's nobody. You don't compare those three. Mint chip is supposed to be chocolate, but I guess maybe it might be too OP in that poll potentially. You got Fae Farm, a sim RPG. Something about Nintendo's and them damn farm sims. One thing about a Nintendo Direct, you gonna get some farm sims. That's for sure. You gonna get you some farm sims. You gonna get some farm sims, whether you like it or not. So there's that. What else? Got this weird Headbangers Rhythm Royale game, which is like a bird game. It's kind of like, I don't even know how you describe it. They tout it as a battle royale. My bad, Rhythm Royale, where it kind of has somewhat of a WarioWare vibe, where you gotta, do all these various mini games, and whoever doesn't mess up the least, doesn't mess up the most, wins apparently. Very odd, but I mean, for free. I mean, it might be tempting. I'm tempted. What else? Mario Rabbids, It Sparks of Hope DLC. Myth Force brings Saturday morning cartoon roguelike. that doesn't flow off that well. To the Switch. So this is a weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a first person melee roguelike. That's what they're describing it as. So that's pretty accurate. Star Ocean, the second story R. All right. Yeah. All right. Star Ocean, the second story R, right? Of course. Idiots. So yeah, basically a full reimagining of the original game with a mix of 2D pixel characters and 3D environments. I hear the word on the street is this is still the best Star Ocean game of the series. So that has me tempted to bite. So we'll see. If you haven't played Batman Arkham, the Arkham trilogy, and you own a Switch, I got some news for you. Batman Arkham trilogy is coming to Nintendo Switch. You missed out on the Xbox PS3 generation of these games. Damn it. You missed out on the PS4 and Xbox One version of these games, the collection. Damn it. Now there's Switch. You have no choice now. You have no choice. Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince. So it seems to be somewhat of the vibes definitely felt very Pokemon-esque, but within the Dragon Quest universe. So that seems interesting. I think you see the protagonist from one of the previous Dragon Quest games as the supposedly the big bad. You got dope Vampire Survivors finally coming to the Switch. It's pretty much almost everywhere now. On Xbox, Steam. I think it started on Steam, then eventually came to Xbox, and now coming to Switch, but with a pretty dope, presumably exclusive feature where you'll be able to play 4-player local co-op with your buddies, which in theory sounds a little OP, but I assume they probably maybe have some countermeasures to kind of balance it out. Because at least, in terms of as somebody who played a not a lot, but a decent amount of Vampire Survivors. It seems like the game is definitely about crowd control and the power ups. But then when you have 4 people covering each quadrant, that just seems a little OP. So I feel like they probably have some countermeasure in place, I'd assume. But overall, that's pretty dope. I'm digging that. If it's the right price, I definitely would buy it. August 17th. Then you got the whole Nintendo onslaught. You got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Got a new course alongside PD Piranha. What? PD Piranha. You got the Wiggler. Come on now. Last but not least, Comic. Like, come on now. Like, that's worth the price of admission alone, you know? Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to hype it. I was trying to hype it up, but then you got Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remaster announced alongside a Princess Peach game. So Princess Peach is getting her own game. They showed us a little tidbit, but these are both planned for 2024. So at least in the far reach, we got some extensive Pikmin 4 details. I at least shown in the trailer, like the big kind of appeal with this one is that apparently you can go out at night, which I assume from previous games you are not allowed to because of it being a specific timer. But at least when you go out at night, it seems like your Pikmin will turn like alien green, and then I think there's like, you know, bigger threats and stuff like that. I think, which I feel like is like, it always seems to be video game 101 rules. Like, I swear put them alongside the barrels. The red barrel should always blow up. And whenever it's nighttime, we'll always have much harder, more difficult enemies. You got WarioWare Move It. You know, you get the Joy-Cons, you gyrate the hips and do all that. That seems fun. Not gonna lie. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Basically they took the moment in the show to like just stroke their ego, like, hey guys, well, did we tell you? No, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was pretty good, wasn't it? Well, you know, because y'all like Tears of the Kingdom, why don't you guys get Zelda and Ganondorf, you know, what do I call them? Hot Ganondorf is probably the best way to describe it. You know, hey, we got the damn, we got it. we got the amiibo. If you want to just keep licking, you want to just lick something to lick hot Ganondorf at night when you lonely and you don't got stuff to think about. Hey, we got you. Hey, we got you. Don't you don't gotta tell us, but hey, do with hot Ganondorf what you will. Do with the hot Ganondorf amiibo what you will. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Let me switch my audio. Wait a minute. Let's go with that. Oh, we good. And Super Mario RPG remake got announced. This was leaked by some leaker, some infamous leaker. I forgot his name. But yeah, he said that basically a classic SNES game will be remade or something along those lines. And sure enough, Super Mario RPG, which I think a lot of people were surprised by because the game was a joint effort, I believe, between Nintendo and Square Enix. I guess apparently before the whole kerfuffle with Sony and Nintendo, when I believe Sony was trying to team up with Nintendo to make a CD based, I think, attachment to incorporate, but Nintendo declined, and then Sony was like, oh well, I guess we're gonna have to make Sony PlayStation, and then one of the biggest game companies was born after that. So it's funny now to see them play nice after all these years, and especially because Nintendo technically created Sony PlayStation in a indirect way, which is kind of funny to think about. But yeah, so that's interesting, because I know this definitely sounds like a licensing nightmare, because I think with some of these new characters within this game, I think it gets a little iffy because of it being developed by Square Enix, and then all of that because of I think Square Enix mainly developing the game, and of course obviously using the likenesses of the Nintendo characters. But then you have the whole the new characters like the Gino and the damn cloud looking dude, and some of the other original characters, where I think that got iffy, and probably explains the difficulty of trying to get Gino in. Well, Gino technically is in Smash, not ideally though, but it is what it is. So that's pretty dope. As somebody who's not played Super Mario RPG, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that at some point. Since I've heard good things about it. Oh yeah, then man, out of nowhere, this definitely blindsided a lot of people, including myself. Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1 coming to the Switch. Coming to the Switch. Coming to the Switch. Man. So, what's crazy is yeah, this is a thing. Like literally Metal Gear Solid, the original, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, the old school MSX games, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Snake's Revenge, which I believe are on the NES, a screenplay book containing in-game text of each title, and a master book detailing the stories and characters. I think there's a guide, like game guides in the included as well. So I mean, they definitely looks like they put some serious effort into the game. But my one gripe, which technically is kind of not necessarily a gripe, but is the fact that as some people may know, there was a little game that came out on the GameCube that was a joint venture between, I think, Silicon Knights and I think it was Silicon Knights and Nintendo. I think Kojima was somewhat involved, which they remade the first Metal Gear Solid, which they called Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. So it was essentially Metal Gear Solid 1, but basically Metal Gear Solid 1, but within the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, basically, which, was pretty dope. A lot of people apparently didn't like the overly Matrix Matrix esque like cutscenes where a lot of acrobatics and a lot of just everybody's flipping and dodging bullets and shit. But I mean, as somebody who loves the Matrix, and that's like one of my favorite movies of all time, absolutely I love Twin Snakes. So we'll see. Maybe it might be in volume 2. And which also potentially is crazy is that which is hard to kind of fathom, just knowing the history behind Metal Gear Solid 4, and the history behind Metal Gear Solid 4, and like the troubled development for the PS3 specifically, and just trying to fathom like that game ever escaping the PS3, let alone maybe coming to the Switch as well, which a lot of people, include myself, suspect that we might get. Obviously, since they said this is volume 1, you wouldn't name it volume 1 if there's not going to be a volume 2, right? So potentially it could be that we might see Metal Gear Solid 4 on the Switch. What? How's that gonna work? I just want to see that game out of pure curiosity, just to see if they can even pull that off. I don't know. It just feels like even in today's age, I mean, with the Switch, which obviously is a fair amount of generations ahead from the PS3, but I don't know. It's hard to fathom seeing that game just actually run on a Nintendo Switch. I don't know. That just blows my mind. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully with volume 2, hey, we might get the Twin Snakes, might get Metal Gear Solid 4. We might get the Twin Snakes. Hell, I mean, I'd even take the Twin Snakes if it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch, because obviously it has like a lot of Easter eggs and stuff that references Nintendo, like Yoshi and Mario and GameCube Easter eggs and stuff with. So I mean, obviously that would make things difficult to try to bring that to other platforms, essentially. But it's possible. I could see it. I think a lot of, I don't know. I feel like some people lying. I think people want to pretend. I hear people want to pretend that Twin Snakes doesn't exist and that it's not canon or whatever. But it's like, come on now. It's not that bad. Y'all need to relax. That was a great game. I definitely would put it over the original for sure. It's way more, I don't know, just the cutscenes, everything just feels more fluid compared to the, first game, which is obviously way more dated. But I digress. I could get on the whole tangent, but I won't. And I think pretty much the heavy hitter, or supposedly, I guess was touted to try to be the heavy hitter at least, was a brand new 2D Mario game, which was also leaked as well by that same leaker. It's called Super Mario Brothers Wonder, where basically it, seems to be fairly kind of the 2D Mario game you love and know, but now it's just some weird quirks where it seems like the perfect Mario game to play while high, which I'm curious if, like, low key maybe Nintendo was like, hey, we got a lot of 35-year-olds and 35 to 40-year-olds that plays our games. Let's make one for them. Let's make one for them while they high. Yeah, so that is Super Mario Wonder. So it's like you get like tubes that start like pushing up and bending, and it just seemed very abstract in a lot of ways, and in terms of certain stuff. You can skate kind of like Sonic in a way. Of course, you got the 4-player co-op. It seems we got a new character within the full group with Princess Daisy, so you can at least finally play with 2 women within the game, which is pretty dope. I think a lot of people love Daisy too. What else? Oh yeah, Mario turns into an elephant. So curious of that power up, what that entails. At least when they showed it, turned to an elephant and then just knocked the Goomba out with his snout. I'm like, if that's it, that is not really impressive at all. But I assume there's more depth to it. Like maybe he can get water, like intentionally developed levels where you can keep picking up water and shoot people and insta kill them or something like that. I don't know. But clearly it seems like they have a plan. So we'll see. It was all right. Overall, it was pretty decent. Actually, as somebody who's not necessarily like interested in a lot of these games, I was entertained. Like some of this stuff did look interesting that like I would potentially play. At least as not compared to like a lot of stuff that I would not play or whatever. So overall, pretty solid. Solid B. I give it a solid B. Moving on. Excuse me. Xbox Showcase also happened, man, like 2 weeks ago, I think. So there was a fair amount of things, way too much stuff to try to all do one by one, but definitely we'll get some of the highlights. So we did see Avowed, somewhat of a gameplay trailer. I have to refresh my memory because it's been so long. What is it? It's the game from Obsidian. Essentially their Skyrim, I think, is what they kind of touted it as. Not officially, but I think kind of the word of mouth. Like, in terms of like if you want to get an idea of what this game is, essentially Skyrim, but Obsidian. The Fallout New Vegas of Skyrim. Which is kind of crazy because I think Obsidian originally developed the first Fallout. I'm pretty sure. So that's interesting. Looked all right. Nothing really tangible to chew on, but they did also show Clockwork Revolution, which is this weird kind of I think faked a lot of people out thinking it was a BioShock in a way. It definitely has a BioShock Infinite like steampunk vibe to it when you initially see it. So I'm curious if that was partially intentional or not. But yeah, so you got this black girl. She's going against the system. She got the steampunk guns, and oh yeah, they did show like time being like a pretty crucial element. She like shot a dude into a fan to chop him up. It's interesting. It has piqued my curiosity. They showed a new Fable New Beginning trailer where they showed from the one dude from the IT Crowd show. I guess he was like the main narrator, and then it was this girl that was walking around, and she was just exploring, and then you come to find out he's a huge giant towards the end, and it was all right. I mean, it's somebody who's not really a fan of Fable, who's not played any of the games, and it was. I was surprised it was Fable, that's for sure, until they showed the title. Hellblade, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Saw a little. I don't think we. Oh yeah, we saw a little bit of gameplay where she was fighting some things and dodging and doing the same old. Um, they announced they at least gave us a window that's coming in 2024. So wherever that is, south of the midnight, which is pretty cool. It seems like a Louisiana like vibe type game where you just like black girl in the south. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster in of itself. But I guess she got some mythical power. Or no, she's hunting like this one mythical monster, at least according to the trailer, and that's pretty much it. It's from the creators of We Happy Few. In contrast, they tout it as a spellbinding third-person action adventure game set in the American Deep South. So, no release date, seems to be on the way. We got Starfield, of course, one of the biggest, most anticipated games for Xbox that is actually exclusive to the platform. Man, so they showed a little clip. Well, they showed this towards the end of the direct, but then they said, "Hey, stick around because we're gonna show a more extensive look at Starfield," which they did. So like basically they did a whole like tangent towards the end of the show, which was pretty dope. Pretty much a heavy Fallout vibes in terms of being able to play whatever way you want. You can use a jetpack if you want, which seems to be pretty useful, nifty. You can make your ship. You can make ship personnel. You can potentially romance some people. You can fly your ship, which we didn't know about. Oh yeah, there are 1,000 planets. I'm always skeptical when they say that because it's like you could have 1,000 planets, but then they could just be like minor duplicates of one of another, or you can maybe partially go to one a little bit. You can't fully explore it. So we'll see. Then that also makes me think like how big is this game physically in terms of size? I hear it's like I forgot, I saw somewhere. What's the size of Starfield file size? I think it was only for PC specifically. So they said at least for PC, which at least gives you a fairly decent gauge of what it's going to be on consoles, around 125 gigabytes, which I mean is very respectable for what the game is and supposedly entails. So, but then again, Bethesda is really good at efficiently with their games being efficient in general. Like a lot of their big games, like the Fallouts and stuff, like generally are fairly small in size, but obviously they're very big games. So, hey, I'm digging it. I'm with it. City Skylines, if you just want to build worlds and destroy them, I don't know how you play that. I just assume that's what I would want to do. So, oh yeah, Sega and Ryu ga Gotoku Studio debuted a first look at Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Oh, that's a pretty dope title, man. And it's like the 8, because if you tilt the 8 sideways, you get an infinite symbol. I mean, come on now. That's genius. That's genius. Somebody's probably did that already, but that's my gushing for the RGG games showing apparently. So I'll down that hill. So yeah, the cutscene, the trailer was basically the new protagonist. I always get that mixed up. Is it protagonist or antagonist? Protagonist. I always fuck that up. Protagonist. antagonist and the villain. Okay, had to be sure. I always fuck that up. So yeah, the protagonist of from the last game, Like a Dragon. What was it called? Was it just? I think it was just called Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is their introductory change in the series, and also their changing of the name from Yakuza to Like a Dragon. Which is Ichiban Kasuga. So he's washed up on at least what the rumors are saying is apparently is Hawaii. So he's washed up on shore, and he's like, hey, why everybody looking at me weird? They're showing like all the people are like literally reacting to him like he's naked. And sure enough, he is naked, and they're being like very cheeky with all the obstructions on the screen, like a crab in the way, and somebody's elbow in the way, and an apple, and so, and then infinite wealth. I'm like, oh shit, I want infinite wealth too. I do. So this is gonna be pretty dope. I mean, even though I'm not a fan of the turn-based, well, specifically with this game, which has its roots as a beat 'em up, now going turn-based, I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I guess we don't know 100% if it's presumed it's gonna be turn-based, but maybe it could be a cool little hybrid where Ichiban is turn-based and Kiryu is a beat 'em up, which that'd be kind of dope. I'd be down for that. So I guess we'll see when time comes. I forgot to mention while we're on the topic, I didn't include it as a separate thing, but also saw the RGG showcase or whatever it's called, where they showed a little bit of extensive stuff in regards to Yakuza, specifically Like a Dragon Gaiden, A Man Who Has No Name, which is basically classic Yakuza beat 'em up with Kazuma Kiryu, which is one of the dopest things they showed. Is apparently Kiryu is like a secret agent, so now he has some cool tools where he has this, I forgot, I think they call it a bind wire or whatever, where it's like this high-tech type like electrical wire that he can like do in his combos. Well, apparently they announced it as his own style, where I think they call it agent style, where he can literally do some dope ass combos. He can flick a cigarette and blow everybody up, and it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. So there are styles in the game, and I'm ready. I'm so ready. Then we got Metaphor Rant Fantasio, which is the first RPG from the team, original RPG from the team behind Persona games. So making their own new unique RPG. You can definitely get the Persona design vibes for sure still. But yeah, totally new RPG adjacent of Persona, which is interesting. Speaking of Persona, we also did, even though it was heavily leaked before, rumored, then I think Instagram leaked the game early, like a day earlier, 2 days earlier. And then, it was like, all right, well, the cat's out the bag. So then we finally got the confirmation that, yeah, Persona 3 Reloaded, which is the rebirth of the RPG classic, coming to Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Windows PC, cloud. Of course, because I'm reading from the Xbox site, but they also confirmed it's coming to PS5 and I think PS4, and I think that's it. Unfortunately, no Switch love, which I think people also complained about in regards to the Nintendo Direct, that like, why no Persona 3 Reload? But yeah, basically it's a remake of Persona 3, kind of with the sensibilities of Persona 5, which I think is a fantastic combination. A fantastic combination. So there's that. Did they announce Persona 5 Tactica? I guess they did, but I don't think we got an extensive trailer of it. So apparently they initially did show Persona 5 Tactica, but I don't think we got an extensive trailer like we did at the Nintendo Direct. Did they show Star Wars Outlaws here? I don't think they did. I guess they did. So yeah, they showed Star Wars Outlaws, which is this new IP within the Star Wars universe where I guess it's apparently set between the events of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So, iconic locations, blah, blah, blah. Risk it all as Kay Vess, an emergent scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life along with her companion Nyx. So it seemed very interesting. Definitely design wise, graphically, it looked pretty good. So I would be interested. I'd like to see more, but definitely seems interesting. We did get the big announcement of we finally got an Xbox Series S that is black. Also 1 terabyte, which has been a common complaint with the Xbox Series X white models that only come with 512 gigabytes, and then with updates and stuff that goes down even more. So you're like literally forced to buy an expansion drive if you don't have one. But at least now I think that'll kind of help ease things a little bit. So now you have a native 1 terabyte SSD Xbox Series S, which is pretty dope. $350, only $50 up from its original price. Not too bad, especially if you're a person that is not ready to fully commit to Xbox, or just maybe just wants to play the Game Pass games and stuff like that. Not bad at all. Starfield Limited Edition wireless control and headsets. They announced that, I think, along with that direct. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC. It was interesting. Idris Elba. So hey, you wanna play with Idris Elba? I mean, there you go. They keep pushing Fallout 76. New DLC or update Road to Atlantic City. What else? Oh yeah, Overwatch 2. Apparently the Invasion is coming, which I guess is their single player, well, half-assed PvE content that is not has any of the ambition that they had previously. I think we mentioned that like maybe the previous episode or maybe the episode before that. Legend of Monkey Island, Sea of Thieves crossovers, like the one infamous point and click game from back in the day is crossing over with Sea of Thieves. So that makes sense. A very sensible team up. And that's pretty much it. Overall, pretty solid showcase. Definitely Starfield, of course, being the highlight. Overall, yeah, I'd say I'd give it a solid B. Would have been dope if we didn't know about Persona 3 remaster. I think that definitely would have made this more appealing. But them leakers gonna be leaking, that's for sure. My goodness, they just be leaking everywhere. Moving on. Capcom had their showcase. They had some stuff. At least in no particular order. think they started off with Mega Man X Dive, which is basically a mobile game. So I was like, all right, okay. Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. I think this premiered at the Xbox Showcase, but then I think they showed it again here. Not a good look. If we already have seen the game premiered somewhere else, don't literally show the same trailer. Which maybe it was different. I don't know. It seemed pretty much the same. This is the one I got faked out. Thought it was Onimusha, but no. And that's I feel like that's the thing with Capcom. They always like, oh, this is almost the game you really want, but not really. It's like, don't do that, Capcom. Don't do that. Ghost Trick demo, and just I think Shu Takumi, the creator, just saying, hey, if you that data say, I didn't know that save data carries over from the demo to main games, which is pretty cool. But Ghost Trick is, I guess, seems to be like a somewhat of a mystery type adventure type thing where you kind of discover, I think, through dead objects. I can't even do it, and just I've never played it. So then Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy coming to 2024. So Ace Attorney 4, 5, 6 get an HD remasters. And then coming early 2024. So that's pretty cool. Pragmata. I was like, oh man, the game, man, they announced like what, 3 years? I think it was 3 years ago. I think it was like PlayStation 5's initial showcase, literally before the PlayStation 5 like released or something like that. It was like, man, what happened to that game? So now we finally saw a little, like, over combined maybe 6 seconds of gameplay, which is not much, but there's that. And then he's like, oh, we're delayed indefinitely, and sometime next year maybe, but we don't know. So disappointing. It's pretty bold of them to just show a little gameplay and be like, oh yeah, we're delayed though. So it is what it is. We saw literally too much of Exo Primal. They literally dedicated what felt like 10 minutes to this game, showing all this extensive stuff that not a lot of people care about, because it is the game that is not Dino Crisis. And then how you gonna have Gina, well, somebody who looks like Gina from Regina from Dino Crisis, literally red hair, short bob cut. That pisses me off personally. Like, okay, have something that's like Dino Crisis, but you literally gonna have a character that looks just like Regina in the game, and it not being a Dino Crisis game, and it's your own IP, mind you, previous IP. Something about that just don't sit right in my soul, but it is what it is. And then pretty much to end it out, we got an extensive developer deep dive of Dragon's Dogma 2, which pretty much felt like it didn't show anything notably like new or revolutionary. What was disappointing was that it seems to be no co-op, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame, considering that there was Dragon's Dogma Online in Japan that you had to, well, if you're in the US, you could get through some VPN means to play it, but otherwise was a pretty great game. But now it's like, man, I thought that was my hope, was going to be the next one, that we would get co-op of some sort. But I mean, I understand that maybe they don't want to take away from the pawn system, which, I mean, admittedly was a pretty cool feature when playing the original one. But the world is apparently 4 times the size of the original, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. Just something about the gameplay wasn't anything crazy new from what I know from the Dragon's Dogma game. So, I just wasn't, crazy about it. We didn't see enough of the cool stuff in my opinion, but I'll just be thankful we got Dragon's Dogma 2 either way, at least we got it either way. But yeah, overall, I was pretty disappointed, not gonna lie. Especially you showing like 10 minutes of Exo Primal. No, that's not really cool. I think they have an idea of what. I guess there's gonna be another beta test later, and it just is not the game that they are trying to tote it out to be. But we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, very disappointing. I give it a C minus. Just oh yeah, there was like Resident Evil 4, the VR. They showed a little bit more of that. I'm like, all right, but it just wasn't enough. I needed more Resident Evil. They freaking showed Reverse again. It's like I think Reverse got more screen time than the RE4 demo or something like that. I heard, which is crazy. So very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Moving on. Let's see. We then excuse me. We then got the Ubisoft Forward, which had some decent, okay stuff. I don't recall necessarily watching the whole thing, but yeah, I guess we got Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, which I'm not an Avatar fan, so that doesn't speak to me at all. We saw a little bit more of a Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which looks pretty dope. I like the redesign of the protagonist. I'm into it. I think they showed a trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Look at the gameplay. It definitely gives off Assassin's Creed 2 vibes, at least its costume. Or no, maybe I'm getting that mixed up with Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is a VR game. So I guess you can play as the classic assassin. So that would explain it. That's what I was seeing there. Captain Laserhawk Blood Dragon Remix, which I guess is an upcoming Netflix show within the Far Cry Blood Dragon universe, which is interesting. I can see why they tried that. They show some details on X Defiant, just touting broadcasting the beta, which I think is this weekend, so I might have to jump into that. Skull and Bones closed beta coming in August. I think they had like a chanting like choir that was singing beforehand. Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence, which is, you might guess it, a mobile game. So there you go. That was pretty much it. And I guess Star Wars Outlaws, they showed 10-minute gameplay at the showcase. I guess at the Xbox showcase, they didn't show much of the gameplay necessarily, but at least in this one they did, which was pretty cool. It definitely put it higher in my radar for sure after seeing it. But combat, shooting your lasers, pew pew. The stormtroopers don't know how to aim apparently, and just dumb, not aware. It is what it is, That concludes all of the directs, forwards and directs and showcases, and I'm coming to you as a man. What if that was What if that was one? I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you as a man. I'm coming to you as a man. Oculus. Oculus. I'm showing. I'm showing you. Fuck. I'm coming. I'm coming to you as a man. I don't know what you can't even like adject. You can't even verbalize that specifically. I'm coming to you as a man, and it's something there. I just have to keep. I just have to keep digging. But in other news, E3 2024 and 2025 are supposedly canceled. This was on Wednesday. The Los Angeles City Tourism Board of Commissions. Wow, I butchered that. The Los Angeles City Tourism Board of Commissioners held a regular meeting with updates on tourism business of Los Angeles, according to the regular meeting packet dated June 16th. On page 21, apparently it shows. Oh yeah, and within this citywide convention sales chart or sheet, it in asterisk says it includes E3 cancellations for 2024 and 2025. So it's not. It's one foot in there. Yeah, 2026 is going to be the time they change, guys. 2026 is when E3 will be back. Just you wait. Just you wait. Just you wait. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's done, but you still, at least this year, you still get some of the vibes. I mean, not the pandemonium and like extravagant, I don't know, showcasing of E3 that I think was pretty cool. You felt more hyped up when, well, as somebody who's never been to E3, but it was cool. It was dope. At least as somebody who's watched it as he grew up over the years and stuff like that. But yeah, seems like it's on its way out. But not gonna lie, I dig this new format. I just maybe more so the accessibility to people that accessibility to people who normally would not, which I mean technically the E3 had their hustle where people, non-media people could join and stuff like that, but then they got muddy and they eventually closed that up. So RIP E3. I mean, still be the expectation of stuff around this summer, but it was cool to have everything, like, I don't know, more consistent than at least it was this year, where you got this person doing this on Monday, this person doing this on Tuesday, the other person doing this on Wednesday. Was kind of cool. But and also the cool commingling of a lot of the media folks who generally don't get a chance to talk to each other, getting a chance to talk to each other from what I'm hearing and stuff like that. So it's dope. Other than that, that concludes all the news for this episode. Let's get on what I've been playing. I have been playing, I actually beat Earth Defense Force World Brothers. For those that don't know, our EDF is basically the Musu. Yeah, EDF is the Musu of alien games, like alien shooter games. So basically a standard third person shooter where you fend off aliens and infiltrating the earth in one way or another. Big ass ants, big ass spiders, various other creatures, robots, flying spaceships and stuff. But it's fun. It just has a very, very self-aware B movie vibe to it that just resonates with me so much. I don't know why. But man, it was great. So now with EDF World Brothers, which I think came out maybe in 2017, maybe a bit later. It's more of a chibi kind of Lego cross hybrid type style of the characters. Everything is very like 3D dot heroes visually in a way. But the cool like mechanic with this one is that you have four brothers. So I think that's the term generally they use. Four brothers or sisters that you can switch on the fly with the D-pad. But what was I going with that? That yeah, four characters you can swap on the D-pad, but then you also get to collect with every mission you do. There's like generally three people that need help where you can just go to them and help them up, and then they'll join your team. And then you can eventually later, like, you know, make your own team assortments for presumably like your different strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I was surprised by the melee focus of like a fair amount of characters are very melee focused. Like, they literally only use their hands, legs, and, you know, do midair kicks and you. There's a damn boxer in this game. Looked like he just came right out of Creed or whatever. He's like, I know my dad was going to train me for this. Like, whenever they score the highest, there's like a sub competition after every mission, like who killed the most people or something like that. And his win chance, like, I know my dad was going to train me hard enough for this and something like that. And you know, it was fun. And then just him as a character is pretty fun. Just fighting, literally just doing dash straights with his boxing gloves across the map. But he's very fun to play. I definitely pretty much played him almost towards the end. But that's the cool thing too. You can always experiment and swap new people in and out. Then you find like variants of like your certain characters you found, and they tend to either be powerful in some ways, maybe not. But it seems like most of the case they're more powerful. So, but yeah, overall it still has that EDF charm to it that I'm really thankful for, and that kept me in it. And you know, of course, the action and stuff is pretty solid as well, which also thoroughly solidified, you know, my enjoyment of it too. So yeah, man, EDF World Brothers. I think it's on a PlayStation Plus Premium, so if you have that, you can pick that bad boy up. It's pretty great. I myself, as an EDF fan, was pretty surprised by how much I liked it, because I was definitely a little off put by the graphical design, artistic choice, if you will. But after playing it and getting more acclimated to it, it's like literally just like an EDF game, just with, you know, those little additions, which I think does make the game pretty interesting. You know, overall, and I'm curious if like the next EDF, which I think technically has been out for a while in Japan. I don't know. I'm might be tempted to port it if I don't hear anything soon about a US release. That yeah, I'm curious if they maybe implemented what they learned from this game into EDF6, because I think that would be pretty dope, being able to switch your characters in like, you know, a fully legit EDF game on the fly. That'd be pretty awesome. I'd be down for that. Yeah, sign me up. But yeah, overall, love me some EDF. Y'all, if you listen to this podcast, I'm probably haven't talked about it too much, but if I'm a gush, I'm a gush about EDF if I can. You hear me? If I gush, I'm a gush. Street Fighter 6 pretty much have not played any multiplayer matches yet. I just feel like I'm not at a competent point so far. Also, I feel very indecisive with my main in terms of who I think my main will be, because at least from stuff I've heard, as well as like, playing the character for a bit, I don't know. I feel like, at least initially, I thought it was going to be Marisa, because I like just her whole style, her whole character and how she plays, but I don't know now. Then I was messing with DJ, because I hear he's actually pretty crazy and way more like flexible and overall versatile character. So I was looking at his moves, doing the cool how to play, which I think is, I think, shoot, every fighting game should have that by default, but basically tells you like some good techniques and things to do from certain combos and stuff like that, and also lets you try it out if you want. My one gripe with that mode is I wish they would let you be more free technically in terms of doing whatever you want within reason. Like let's say you kick a shirt or something, and the other person tries to kick a shirt and it doesn't do anything, then it's that whole weird thing, I guess. But yeah, Street Fighter 6, or what I like to call it lately, Struggle Fighter 6, but I've not gotten a good chance to put some time into it, but I think at one point I'll probably get to that point. But yeah, I dig it. Then I played, well, my friends got me into this. I wasn't originally going to play it, but at least anytime soon, but Diablo 4. So like, hey man, you want to play with us? Like, we just started, and I'm like, all right, you guys just started. I'm like, all right, I'll bite the bullet. Some told me it's like it wasn't going to be how I thought it was, but sure enough, like we eventually just went our separate ways in a way, in terms of, playing the game separately. Well, I was like, well, I thought we were playing it together in terms of, but, and then I was thinking like, oh, I thought you can't play Diablo 4 or Diablo alone, but I was like, you know what? Let me I'll eventually start playing it by myself, because it's like, you have to coordinate doing quests together, and then if they didn't do your quest, then you have to help them do the quest, and then like what happens if like I don't know, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but but from what I played, it was pretty good. The progression feels pretty good. The combat feels good. The trees, I could be, if you think of a game that you could be in there for hours, man. Just the critical thinking you have to do. Boy, yeah. I'm not sure what I feel like I'm going in and out at this point, and I'm not thinking about what I'm saying, which sounds very dangerous, but hey, I'm gonna let it fly. I don't care. Moving on. Final Fantasy 16 demo came out, I think sometime last week. I was like, oh yeah, let me try that out. I was hearing some very good things about it, and man, boy, I don't want to spoil anything, but some plots develop. Let me say that at least. The combat was all right. I just feel like maybe I need to play with it more, because I know this was developed by the former director of the Metal Cry games, or at least 5. So I don't know. I feel like there's more combo depth that I'm just not finding or figuring out or clicking, which I think we're gonna save that for when it comes out. But overall, I had a pretty good experience. I did like what I saw. There's some interesting stuff in there that I won't mention, but best way to describe it, what what was the best way to do? Oh yeah, Game of Thrones. So yeah, and it might surprise you in a lot more ways than one how that is. That's where I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I dig it. I definitely love the fact that you can transfer your progress to the main game, which I definitely plan to, do. They had a cool extra demo mode type thing where you go even further in the game and like do some like combat with like your more expanded move set in terms of magic and etc., which is pretty dope. So, yeah. Then also played Fortnite. Never thought I'd say it out that I'm playing Fortnite. Well, always at this point I feel like I'm always saying that. I never thought I'd beat Fortnite or play Fortnite. But here we are. Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 3. The big new toted characters, Optimus Prime. What to say? Yeah, I dig the new setting, where it's like this literally wild forest area where you can like ride on whips, like kind of similar to the tracks in the Mega City. You can find Optimus's big ass charger in the game. Apparently, there's this that I discovered recently playing the game this week. That there's this cool doohickey where it turns you invisible. I assume for some period of time, or I don't know how that works, but that yeah, that's pretty. That could be pretty deadly. Just being able to turn invisible and pop up. Somebody used it on me, and I had a very difficult time trying to find them, but luckily I did kill him. But I don't know. I was like, was that the baby dinosaur looking for me? I don't know. He just saw me, in duress, and just like, hey, let me help you, man. So, Fortnite Chapter 4. It's all right. It's all right. Nothing to, brag home about, but I was entertained. With that being said, that concludes what I've been playing this week. Let's talk about what I've been watching. The Flash. I did watch The Flash. I know. Oh man. Don't support Ezra Miller. Fucking blah blah blah. But I mean, hey, it is still a movie, and I think all of what he's going through is gonna come to the surface or come his way either way. So, outside of that, hey, I really wanted to see Batman as well. Obviously, they, to make up for all the controversy, they like literally touted him in the front instead of the Flash. So that was cool. Some of the CGI was pretty weak, definitely. It was pretty damn weak for sure. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but overall, I enjoyed it. I like what it does because obviously this is the movie touted to kind of reset the Snyder universe, not Snyder universe, reset the DCEU. Which yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it was pretty good. Just thinking about it, I had a good experience with it. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what to say, but yeah, it was alright. Definitely better than Wonder Woman 2. Yeah, I liked all the cameos. That was pretty dope. But yeah, I dug it. Also watched Secret Invasion, which came out this past Wednesday, I believe. Pretty dope. Finally seeing Samuel L. Jackson back in the MCU. Technically, more than a line or a few was pretty dope. Man. Yeah, it's very interesting in terms of the question it brought up, like, oh, who's a scroll now? Like, that whole like trying to find a scroll and stuff like that was it was pretty nifty, and then make you think like, man, anybody could be a scroll. Like, what if Hawkeye? I think a lot of people are suspecting Hawkeye or what's her name? Damn it. But yeah, no, they started with a bang, that's for sure. They definitely did. I'll leave it at that. Pretty great. I'm curious of what's next. But with that said, I think that will conclude episode 176 of Switch's Sights. If you did like the show, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms, and of course YouTube as well. Also, you can catch archives of this on YouTube at youtube.com/aswitch. You can also watch this live on Twitch TV/aswitch on Friday evenings as well. But until next time, y'all, get your damn game on. Feel free to fuck. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.